Have you ever felt the sting of someone making fun of your height? Well, here's the secret. See the bright side. No more ducking under tall surfaces most of the time. Legroom becomes a luxury thing for you. And swinging your feet on benches becomes an endless fun. Great things come from having a short stature. What do you think these images want to convey? The answer? There is a short one, a tall one, a small one, and a big one. Now, let me ask you this question. Have you ever felt the sting of someone making fun of your height? I want to share my journey with you. I'm not the tallest person around. According to the CDC height and age chart, the average height for a 15-year-old girl is approximately 159.7 centimeters, or 5'2" feet. And at 15, I stood at a mere 4'11" feet. You can tell the difference easily, right? Initially, I was fine with this difference, and I didn't really care. Not until people started making it a point to comment. People asked questions like, "Why are you so short?" Or, "Why are you still so short?" These questions became inescapable, along with constant comparisons to people who were younger but taller than me. Each time, I felt a wave of sadness and insecurity flow within me. Those words then began to shape how I saw myself. Staring at my reflection, I hated what I saw. I felt anger and disgust. I believed that no outfit would ever look good on me. And despite people reassuring me that I might still grow, doubt lingered. Because what if this was it? What if I never stood taller? I once visited my family after a very long time. I was excited, and I was eagerly anticipating on bonding with them again. I haven't been in the Philippines after a very long time. But as soon as we settled our luggage in our house, a relative greeted me with this question. "Hey, do you still got any growing left?" And she was pertaining to my height. Then she even added this question. "Oh, you're in high school? I thought you were just an elementary student." I thought to myself, wow, that's the most welcoming and nice way to greet someone you haven't seen in a while. But that day, I cried. I cried until I had no more tears left to give. I felt like a sponge, squeezed to its limit. I lay in bed, letting the thoughts consume me, and I felt so alone, like a poet who lost her rhyme, or an archer without a bow. That was what I felt. People told me to just shrug it off, or to just think of it as a joke, but I couldn't help but succumb to my own emotions. At that very moment, all I wanted to do was shrink, dissipate, disappear. I wanted this vacation to be over immediately. But amidst the despair, I learned something important. And it's that people always have something to say. And it can be good or bad. And you can't choose what they will say to you. But you do have the choice to decide what to accept. You may think, so how did you get over it? Well, I have come to acceptance that acceptance is hard, especially when the words still linger inside your head. But if I didn't acknowledge that I was in pain, or harboring hate, or if I didn't help myself to forgive those who have wronged me, then I think I wouldn't be here sharing this topic today. Forgiving is hard, especially when the cut stabs so deeply. There might be days when you're confident that you're over it, but you still tear up thinking about it. Dwelling on their comments won't change a thing. It won't take back what they said, so I decided not to dwell on it anymore. If others compare you to someone else or to others, don't start comparing yourself to others as well. This will only set your back. Dr. Aaron Pritchard, a lecturer in disability studies at Liverpool University, sheds light on how societies establish an optimal height based on a curve, creating unrealistic expectations. She notes that this norm becomes what everyone should be. Look at this image. Penguins. They differ in size, and if you know penguins, they come in tall and small sizes. Emperor penguins, the tall ones, can grow to be 4 feet tall, whilst little blue penguins can grow to only be 16 inches tall. Despite these variances, they both function and coexist in the same habitat, proving that height variations are normal and provide advantages, much as height differences among humans are natural and shouldn't be a cause for judgment. Because, after all, words can be weapons, and they can impact one's well being. However, your response to these words, comments, and stereotypes is what really matters. You can choose what to accept, choose what resonates with you, and find out how to apply it to your life. In my case, I have depended on others so much that I also failed to see myself in a good way. But I learned something from belittlement, and that is the power and importance of strength. Belittlement has strengthened me. Why? I discovered my ability to defy expectations despite people's criticisms. So, I challenge each and every one of you to do these 3 steps. Number 1, embrace what makes you unique. Whether it's your height or any other characteristic that society deems less than perfect. Stand tall and firm in your own way and find joy in the attributes that make you who you are. Number 2, which can be a very hard step, but find time to appreciate yourself each day, even when you don't feel like it. Look for something to appreciate each day, even if sometimes you have to look a bit harder. And if a voice inside your head tells you otherwise, always remember that you're bigger than this voice and that you can easily overthrow it. How? By being grateful. Be grateful for all you are, because without these things, you wouldn't be you. And the last step, which can be also a hard step, which is strive to see the bright side. It can be hard to be an optimistic person, but try to look for the positive aspects on what might seem like drawbacks or flaws to you. For example, me being short. Being short means that you don't have to duck on tall surfaces. Thus, you don't hit your forehead. And you have enough legroom always. And you get to swing your feet on benches all the time while having your little treat. Which, this is my personal favorite. To elaborate this last step, I'd like to share some of my experiences. There were times when I wanted to sleep in the back seat of the car, and it overjoyed me because I could fit my whole body on the entire seat. Or how on planes, I don't need to ask the person in front of me, "Hey, can you put your seat upright?" Why? Because my legs are so tiny and I just got enough legroom. Meanwhile, tall people get grumpy the whole flight because they can't get any sleep, especially with babies crying the whole flight. But kidding aside, I didn't really see these things as perks at first because I was too busy and focused on people's impressions of me and how I thought these things were disadvantages. It can be hard to confidently see yourself in a good way, especially when your mind keeps telling you otherwise. But always take time to reconcile with yourself and try to find out what's making you compare yourself to others. We often see insecurity as a weakness and we feel inferior of others. However, an article focused on how insecurities can help us stated this: insecurities isn't always a bad thing. Treat it with compassion and see through it. It may want to tell you what yourself needs to improve or wants to improve. Find something unique within this flaw that some may label. It doesn't have to be extraordinary, just something that helps you see the bright side on these advantages that some may perceive. Practice daily affirmation, be comfortable with being different, find people who are driven by growth, and repeat. This is an important cycle that we must always stand by. It is important to note that to achieve self acceptance, we must learn to accept parts of ourselves that we deem undesirable or negative. It's about finding the joy in the little things that come with having a short stature, turning what might seem like drawbacks into quirky perks. This principle does not only apply to me or to people who have short stature. If you notice that you struggle with accepting parts of yourself that you consider undesirable, then maybe this is for you too. Remember these 3 steps. Embrace what makes you unique. Find something to appreciate each day, even if it's hard, and find the bright side. Once you've come to acceptance of all these things, you will realize how comfortable and fulfilling it is to be accepted wholeheartedly and soulfully by yourself.